Okay. This is for the discussion board. I'm kind of going to read off of my iPad here just so I can stay on track for everything. But so the first question is, how are you feeling about the term so far? I would say I'm struggling just a little bit. I get pretty bad test anxiety. I've always kind of had it. Just I work myself up over it. I tend to be a perfectionist, so I put a lot of pressure on myself. But it's always just kind of a challenge to get acclimated to taking another course. Different professors, everybody has different styles. Getting used to how you take the test. But I feel pretty positive about the semester coming up. I think once I fully adjust to how the format of the class is, I think it'll be a little more manageable for me. So, um, why do you think it's going to be the way, or why do you think it's going the way that it is? And like I said, I think a big part of it's my test anxiety that I get, just needing some extra time to adjust to teaching and my learning style of how I learn. But like I said, once I become familiar with the program and expectations and stuff, I think I usually get to feeling a little more comfortable, so it shouldn't be too big of an issue. Um, so next question three, what learning do you want to take with you into future teaching? I just kind of wrote down like I would want to take you know the the importance of creating a positive and supportive environment for students, just to feel that love and encouragement to want to fully participate in gym class. Excuse me, I sub right now, and I know when you do sub, you don't. It's a free day pretty much, but um, the days I sub in other classes and I see the PE classes going on, they don't really do a whole lot. So they tend to lose that drive, if you will, which we've kind of covered some of that in previous chapters. But I just, everybody learns differently and has different motivations that, that we need to try to meet as, teachers, educators. So I want to be able to teach in a way that, you know, all students can kind of feel, included in everything we do. No matter what game we're playing, frisbee, or if you're going over a basketball unit, or pickleball or whatever. Any kind of modifications we can make. Try to cover that. But I just want kids to feel encouraged and enjoy my class when they come in, and have a positive, fun environment. Um, Question four: how might you remember to implement this learning as you move forward in your teaching career? Um, just kind of continuing to reflect on all my experiences, and always being open to feedback. I think that's a big thing. Is the older you get, the less you want feedback, the less um, you know, are encouraged by some of that. You get set in your ways, and I think as an educator, you can't be that way. I'm a physical therapist assistant, um, and we have continuing CEUs, and I know teaching they do the same thing, but as a PTA, I always have to brush up on stuff. So I think I can't I can't be set in my ways. I have to continue to learn and push myself, and I think I would do that as a teacher. So, but just like I said, being open to feedback, building relationships. I think that's a lot of what teaching is now. Anyways, being different, or having different styles of learning, and how you can relate to kids. I think that's important. But like I said, just remembering to be encouraging, having patience to deal with kids, and and how they deal with things, and how we deal with things in class. But just not being set in my ways, I think, will be um, really big. So, last question: as you reflect on your answers to these questions, how has it supported your learning? I think reflecting on these questions, has helped me better understand both my strengths and the areas where I still want to grow. It reminds me of how important it is to create a supportive learning environment for kids, especially because I know every kid learns differently, and that's something I will always have to kind of remember. But moving forward, I want to continue to reflect on any teaching practices that remind me how important it is to implement patience and kindness and just being flexible for all my kids. When we get them in class. So, um, anyways, that's all I have. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully everything goes well, and see you soon.